It's Fuck It Friday. Thanks for joining the show. Have a good day. Peace, love, and chicken grease. Morning, folks.
Hello.
Everybody hey, James, what's happening, man?
James, stop sending me stupid memes on Discord.
No.
I like it. No, just
How'd you like that?
Yeah, I liked it.
I will block you.
Concise and to the point.
I'll still send
Block it with what? Peanut butter?
Yeah.
Is that peanut butter on a pencil?
Chopstick.
Peanut butter is good. I had a peanut butter sandwich.
It's a long finger.
That's a great way to get your rice to stick together, too.
Well, I don't know about that, but
never ask a Marine if you can have some of their peanut butter.
This is how you get your rice to stick together.
Soy sauce.
Man, I dropped
our fish sauce
on my table,
and
it went all over the place, and it melted the paint off the back of my challenge coin. So now I'm gonna have to actually just get all the paint off of it, polish it. The department I work for, once a year, they give you challenge coins.
Mm-hmm.
I got like, I don't know, a ton of them.
And if you didn't have them at the bar, you were paying.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Luckily, the paint's coming off really easy, so. Mm-hmm. One of the challenge coins wasn't for being there for a year, but my best friend, when I got hired, he bought me a brass challenge coin that had St. Florian on it, because St. Florian is the patron saint of firefighters.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to carry that on me all the time.
Fun enough, he's also the patron saint of fire starters.
No, it's not.
That's St. Prodigy
of the Christians by, I think it was Decimus, but I don't know who.
St. Prodigy is the patron saint of fire starters.
They
not as funny, Hungar.
Prodigy. What was
your fire starter?
Evian. You know, in Prodigy, the one guy had like the girl name.
I'm your fire starter.
Vivian. He was the white dude that had like the double mohawk. But anyway, yeah, when they told St. Florian he had to give up Christianity, he said no. So they tied a big rock around his neck and chucked him in the ocean.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't live from that.
No. But he became a martyr.
People don't.
But he did become a saint.
Yeah.
But he was a firefighter. Apparently the city of Rome had fire departments.
Yep.
Yeah.
And, yeah. Sucked to live in Rome there for a while because every time a new emperor came in, you just never knew what his policy was going to be on shit. You know, it's like one emperor's like, you're Christian, we don't care. And then the next emperor's like, we're going to kill all the Christians. It's like, damn, dude.
They probably should have been better at that.
Make your mind up. Then one emperor comes in and says, you're all Christians. And everybody's like, what? Yep. My name is Constantine. And
I gotta stop eating peanut butter.
And you're all going to be part of this religion now. And then I'm going to split the empire in half. And I'm going to make a city in the Near East. And there'll be two emperors, a prime and a secondary emperor.
Shadow, this is helping you, you know. Think of Rome more.
Well, everything I'm saying, Shadow remembers.
I'm trying to forget.
From first-hand experience.
Shadow's like the emperor of mankind. He can die. It's just that he reincarnates.
He was emperor 3 times.
What's it called? He's a primordial or a preternatural or a whatever.
Yeah.
Even if
they can neither confirm nor deny.
They just They just get reborn
He
later.
doesn't die though, because that's too cool for Shadow.
Well, the Emperor died. One time he incarnated trying to help humanity, but they nailed him to a cross.
Yeah.
And then
You see-
another time before that, he incarnated as the son of a guy named Philip, and he thought he'd try to unify all of the earth, but then he was poisoned and they killed his wife and child.
Okay.
That's
That
that's 40K lore.
Yeah.
The
That
God
kind of
Emperor truly is the God Emperor. It's like, but he was Alexander the Great once until he was betrayed and poisoned.
that kind of cool stuff never happens to Shadow.
Shadow's
Yeah,
like the one guy that was friends with the Emperor that was also immortal, and he was a Roman. And when the Emperor outlawed religion, he turned a blind eye to the Roman guy because the Roman guy was Catholic. He was like an Orthodox Catholic from Constantinople. So even though the Emperor was like, no religion, everyone's got to be an atheist, he was like, except this dude, who just fought as a normal trooper in the Imperial Guard the whole time. I mean, because he wasn't a super powerful psychic. He was just a guy that every time you killed him, he came back. Apparently, there's like 100 of them in the universe.
Mm-hmm.
That's 40K lore. Just some people. It's like Highlander. Just some people are born, and if you kill them, they just come back. Unless you kill them with a special blade called the Athame blade,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
which not only kills your body, but kills your soul.
I wouldn't mind playing a game of Highlanders.
Doesn't work on the Emperor, though. The Athame blade.
What era, Justin?
What era? There is only one era.
No, for a Highlander game.
Highlander?
I'm saying.
I don't know. Maybe
Modern.
like you have your players. You could probably like do a bunch of sessions like 500 years ago, then a few sessions a few
Like
hundred years
fast
later.
forward, you know?
Yeah, and just like skip through time.
That would be cool. That's not a bad idea. You know, you do like a little adventure. Yeah, that would be cool, man.
If I did it, I would probably want to give them like one other like weird ass ability. You know,
No, because that's the point. The point is you got to do things without that stuff. That makes things easier for your character to do.
Yeah, but then it comes down to die rolls, and not a matter of strategy.
Everything comes down to die rolls.
Yeah. In
Not
fact,
I don't even know what the strategy you're speaking of is.
what you do when you're not in actual combat.
You don't worry about it because the skein of your life was wove long before you were born. Bury yourself in a hole if you want. It won't make any difference.
Maybe.
besides,
Do you recognize that movie?
That is 13th Warrior.
Yep.
do you have that fucking thing
What was that?
memorized? 13th Warrior.
Oh no, never seen it.
When the drunk Viking tells the Arab, you know, you can bury yourself in a hole if you want, but it doesn't matter because the gods have already chosen when you are going to die. So you might as well just be like, F it and do your thing because you're either going to die because the gods have decided already when you would, or you're not going to die. But everyone will die when it is their time to die.
Sure.
That part you can count on. When it's your time to die, you will die. No matter what you do. It's kind of what he was trying to tell the Muslim.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter what you do. When it's your time to die, you will die.
Yeah, it's about not being afraid.
Yep, it's about not being afraid. It's kind of like when they're in the cave full of Neanderthals or Devonians or whatever they were.
Yep.
And they're at that pool. And it's like, they think the pool might lead them out of the caves, but they don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And they're discussing it. Should we try it? Should we not? Blah, blah, blah. And finally, their king or chieftain, Bovine, he tells them, luck will carry a man through as often as not. Let's try it. And they all dive into the water and they swim, and somehow, luckily, they make it out of the cave.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was an underground cave leading out.
Yep.
So, which is why me and Double D, that was our disagreement, because he says that, not that we started any drama over it, but he said that Conan the Destroyer was the greatest D&D movie ever. And I was like, no, sir, I have to interject with the 13th Warrior. Because 13th Warrior, they meet in a tavern, they form a group, they travel to the quest, they do the quest, and then in the end, they go home.
Mm-hmm.
And the group is very diverse, You've got the Arab, who it takes months to learn the Norse language. And you've got all these different guys, and, it was just a better movie. The only scene in the movie that was stupid is when the cavemen charge them with horses.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Desovians did not have horses. And on top of that, where would they hide all these horses?
Yeah, it would have been easy to find them because, hey, look, all these horses.
But the director had recently either worked on or watched Braveheart. And he had been incredibly moved by the pike scene.
Mm.
Now, I don't know. Have you seen Braveheart?
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Have you, Shadow?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, in Braveheart, when they hide the pikes in the ground, and then the heavy cavalry charges, and they wait to the very last minute to pick it up, and the heavy cavalry crashes in on a wall of pikes. The director of Eaters of the Dead loved that shit so much that he found a way to put it in the movie. Whereas the main bad guys in the movie wouldn't have went anywhere near a horse except to eat it.
That's good eating a horse.
Yeah.
Horse is not bad.
Well, we know for a fact that ancient humans used to eat horses.
Oh, we know for a fact that Germans still eat horses.
In Europe, horse and donkey is actually a thing. Yeah, they eat that. Like in France, donkey tail is considered to be a delicacy.
It's meat. And if you're
They
not
don't
using it
have
for
the same view on horses, I think, because they were never cowboys.
Yeah, I think that's the issue. We're a cowboy culture.
Because our cowboy culture is like you and your horse and your pistol versus the world, right?
Yep.
You'd never fuck with your horse. I mean, that's in our country. If you fucked with someone else's horse, they'd hang you. That was a death sentence, stealing a horse.
Yeah.
that comes from Europe, though.
Well, it's
no, it's the like stealing a horse could starve a family to death, right?
Exactly.
But we don't have that dependency on horses anymore.
But we in America still love our horses.
Yeah, well, horses are a majestic animal.
All of our pets, actually.
But horses just aren't that anymore.
My mom still owns a horse, so they are still that. She don't even ride it. She just walks out and talks to it.
Yeah, so it's just
That's
a thing of beauty now.
It's not.
It's not.
Well, it's old. My mom's old. You don't want a 70-something-year-old woman falling off of a damn horse. That's no good.
Depends on how sadistic your humor is.
That's true. It depends on the old lady too. Like if it was Nancy Pelosi, I would definitely like to see her fall off of a very tall horse.
I would buy her a horse.
That would be hilarious.
And I know that makes me a bad person.
No, it doesn't. Not when it comes to Nancy Pelosi.
It means you haven't gone insane.
I was a little disappointed in one of my homeboys. I'm going to talk shit.
Yeah.
If you want to hear it. If you don't want to hear me talk shit.
Always, man. Do you not know what channel you're on?
Like, I posted that video showing the Russian breakout around Adivka.
Yeah.
And Raven posted a GIF that was like, doubt. And it's like, how do you doubt? There's film. There's pictures. There's literally drone footage showing where all the units are. How are you doubting this? You know, Antivka fell quicker than Bakhmut. And now the Russians they have a 3-prong advance through Ukraine, and the Ukrainians just are not stopping them.
I ain't worried about it because, you know.
And he's like, I doubt that. Like
the UK and France are going to cause World War III.
M1A1 Abrams tanks. They interviewed the Russian soldier who destroyed 2 of them. He was using one of those, I guess the Russians have like cornets, which are very similar to our Totus. And he said he just hid in the woods, and when the M1 went past him, he shot the engine of it, and then he shot the back of the turret.
Well,
it hit the back of the turret, the ammo exploded.
It's funny, right? People think, oh, Germany, France, they'll enter the war and Russia will fall. It's like, fool, that's NATO. Russia's already at war with all of NATO. Like, what are they going to add to the fight?
You know,
the equipment they've already been adding to the fight,
miniatures and stuff. And I have a feeling that if Russia nukes England off the map, I won't be able to order a lot of miniatures.
The fact is, they won't have to. We'll just have to stop holding
back. In the last meeting that Putin had with the Duma, he told them, and they stood up and clapped. And he said, if they want to keep pushing this, he will hit them where they live.
He's going to turn it into a fuck around and find out state.
Yeah.
He's been warning for years. And our government's saying, he's bluffing.
His
next, that's a hell of a bet to take, though.
His next announcement, like he should come out in the next week or so and say, if Ukraine does not unconditionally surrender and sign over the territories we've annexed in the next 12 hours, we will annex the whole country.
Well, like I told you in that history lesson, to be fair, Kiev was the first capital of Russia.
Yeah.
Before it moved to Moscow.
Yeah.
Because Moscow was much more central. So Kiev it's Russian. I'm sorry, guys. Kiev is Russian. It's a Russian city. It always has been. And, I agree with you. If he were to say that, you got X amount of hours to sign these breakaway provinces over, or I'm just going to go ahead and
take it all.
Take everything. Run you Poles back into Poland.
Yeah.
Because, most of the Eastern Ukrainians are Polish-Lithuanian.
Yeah.
That's the Azov battalion. They're not Russians. They're Polish-Lithuanians.
Yeah.
Which is why they're Banderas. They hate the Russians because of how they were treated during World War II, which I get it. The communists were scumbags. But
I like Bandera, right? The guy that founded the Bandera.
Bandera was the guy that the Germans put in charge.
Yeah, let me finish, man.
Well,
Bandera tried to use the Reich against Russia, and Mustache Man just threw him into a camp for it. Like, hey, you want to play games? Here, hang out behind this barbed wire fence.
Mr. Baker says horse meat is great, much leaner than beef. No, I'll pass on the horse and stick with the venison.
Yeah.
Even though my wife took me to a really fancy restaurant and I got bison, which you got to grind up because, it's too tough to actually eat. But it was a little bit of a letdown, but I think it's because I had my bison burger cooked well done.
Mm-hmm.
And then later, everybody was like, no, when you eat bison, you got to eat it medium rare.
We got a place just not too far from here that sells bison.
Bison.
Yeah.
I like ostrich. Ostrich is good.
I've never ate ostrich. We used to have a whole farm where they did emus.
Emus.
And there's a farm out east of us where they have bison.
Yeah.
And they have signs saying, do not pet the bison.
They do not want to be pet.
Because apparently idiots have crossed the fence to try to pet the bison. And they're practically blind anyway.
Yeah.
So they don't know who you are and you're creeping up on them.
So I think you're a predator.
Disaster right there.
Yeah.
Like, but anyway, so that's my political talk. I was a little disappointed because I always think of this guy as being like really smart. But you post pictures and shit, and this guy tells you you're wrong, and it's like, well, okay, I guess my eyes are lying.
The Raven on your end of things is kind of bought in politically, and
yeah, I understand that, but how do you deny your eyes?
Because you're using your ears, listening to
you got an interview of a Russian guy explaining exactly how his team took out 2 out of 3 M1A1 tanks, and you're not believing that, even though there's pictures of the burning tanks.
Yeah.
It's just like you're delusional, man.
Yeah, well, it's.
But I've told him that before, so
it's the post-war educational system. It indoctrinates the entire body populi into thinking truth is evil, right? And not to be trusted.
I'm just impressed with your use of Latin.
Yeah.
Which again brings me to think of Rome.
And now you see how I crafted that sentence.
And now it works.
Yeah.
But
everybody gets lucky once in a while.
Yeah, Shadow.
Luck comes from quality planning.
About Rome every day, so in my mind, you're sus.
Yeah.
Thinking about today and tomorrow, not the past.
Yes.
I'm thinking about the future.
The past illuminates your path through history into tomorrow or some shit like that.
What he said.
Without a good grasp on history, you are bound to trip and follow on the mistakes already made. Some other shit like that.
That humanity rises up, gets rid of all the degeneracy, and reestablishes the Holy Roman, not the Holy Roman Empire, but the actual, Byzantium and the East and West. And we run the Turks out of and retake all the Christian lands in the Levant.
The Turks need to go back to Turkmenistan.
I don't know about that quite, because I'm more of a fan of the Terran Roman Imperial Republic. Like, I want the borders, not the way they were, but just the whole thing.
Well, no, what I'm talking about just
I think Laos should be a territory of the Roman Imperial Republic.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just talking about the beginning. After that, the world. And the
first, we have to take Manhattan, though.
Where would you make the capital? Constantinople, Rome, or Jerusalem?
Constantinople.
Rome.
You think?
Yeah, because it's the original capital.
Not really, but I understand. Kinda.
What was the capital of Rome before the founding of the town of Rome?
Well, first off, if I want to be pedantic,
When the brothers came to the River Tiber and said this would be a good place to settle,
but I could argue. Do you know why?
what?
Freedom of
The city
speech.
is not named Rome.
Huh?
The city is not named Rome,
What is the city
nor
name?
has it ever been. How about you, Hungar? What was the city named?
What?
The capital of the Roman Empire. What was the city named?
Constantinople.
No, that's
No.
later on.
That's the only one I care about.
Anyway, I'll just tell you. Roma.
Oh, that's the people.
No, that's the city.
I mean,
The Empire of Rome is governed from the city of Roma.
which is Rome.
And then people from Rome are Romans.
Why aren't they Roman women?
Now, does
No.
that disprove anything you said? No. It
Let's
does
just
not
make sure it's
disprove
Grace in
a
the
word
row.
you said. I'm just being a pedantic dick
Yes, you are.
because you're arguing with me about my plans.
The plans are the capital of Rome becomes the capital of Rome.
Now,
And-
I'm
and-
thinking
and the
capital of
first-
Rome becomes
the first-
Constantinople.
The first imperial project after the conquest of everything is to renovate the Colosseum to make it a functional arena again.
No, but that should be U.S. law. Of course, I've said that before.
What?
Two grown-ass adults want to fight to the death, they should be allowed. As long as they
Yeah.
sign the proper paperwork so that no one can come back later and try and sue. And,
Yeah, we definitely need to bring back dueling.
yeah, bring back dueling. If someone pisses you off that bad, get a dueling permit, handle it.
Yeah.
Yep.
you just-
Well, and televise it.
well,
Well,
And if you
couldn't televise it because there'd be like 1,000 duels a day,
yeah,
well,
exactly.
yeah, you have the dual channel.
Yes.
right? It's like
And
every
if
time
you-
somebody cuts you off,
And if you decline a duel, you should be,
shamed.
ridiculed for the rest of your days.
Shamed.
I don't know.
Shame.
You don't know because somebody would have killed you by now.
Nah. I'm pretty good. Nah, I don't
You live in
think.
Canada. You guys would never have a law like that.
I think we had dueling longer than you did.
You guys only let the government murder you.
Well, no, that's not true.
They let doctors.
Yeah, hey,
That's the
hey,
government, bro.
That's the government.
Well, you
their
can sign the
healthcare
paperwork
system is
and
ran by
give
the
up your breathing permit.
Yeah, I heard that they were talking about that in Canada, having people have to sign up for a permit to have babies.
Hey, Raven.
All
Which
right.
is crazy because that means like you're walking down the street with your newborn.
This is a better
and a cop
Raven.
walks up and is like, "You got a license for that?" Wait, what?
I replaced my peanut butter with pepperoni sticks.
Nice.
Yeah, in
I
where
had
I live,
salami, Swiss cheese, and eggs in a 0-carb wrap.
I ain't ate shit.
Well, you shouldn't eat shit. It's bad for you. It'll actually kill you over time.
I haven't eaten anything.
But he has eaten shit.
I was planning on sleeping till 11:30, but then somebody called me at 10:30.
Who?
You,
Why?
because you wanted to hang out.
it's Friday.
Well, because I wanted to tell you all about the Emperor
Yeah.
and why John Grammaticus is a dickhead.
And what he can do for you?
And then we got into a debate about which Primarch we would be, which for me was really easy. Obviously, I would be Sanguinius.
No.
No?
Anyone around here that's hanging out with ladyboys, it's Shadow.
No.
Sanguinius didn't hang out with ladyboys.
Shadow don't hang out with ladyboys.
No, you're thinking the Cyclops. What's his name? Destructo Boy? He just happened to be born with a love of socialism and ladyboys?
Hey, there's nothing wrong with socialism.
Yes, there is.
No.
Yep.
It's how we get rid of the people who take up too much room in our healthcare system.
Hey, look, you can say what you want. I disagree. I'm sorry. I could disagree, Justin. I disagree.
Well, we'll take care of that sooner or later.
I
What,
doubt
disagreeing?
Canadians will take care of anything.
White lives don't
Killing
matter
each other.
because white lives aren't a thing. I disagree.
Yeah, right. White lives aren't a thing, and I'm sitting there like,
I'm
What?
alive.
I'm alive and white, and I have the same troubles you have. I grew up probably poorer than you did. You fucking gated.
I'm still waiting for my white privilege to kick in.
Yeah, right. We got that Appalachian white privilege. You know, where you
It's like
eat
these people
4
bitching
times
about
a
the
night,
economy
4
now.
times a week.
We need to all get together and move a class action lawsuit against the government for not providing us with our white privilege.
Insert names saying some highly controversial stuff, but I agree with it. I'll go on the record as agreeing with it.
Yep.
I have zero hatred for the people of Africa. But sub-Saharan Africa is full of dumbasses. The average IQ down there is 70.
What
So-
I
I
like,
think it was 80. Yeah, that's a poor IQ for a glass of water.
what I
That
laugh about is all the people
legally,
complaining about the
mentally
economy.
retarded.
People
So
are
you
like,
have
"Oh,
whole
the economy's
countries
so
full of
bad, I'm
people.
broke now." And it's like, bitch, you're what they call a new poor. We're old poor. We're used to this shit.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, they imported your ass to keep us poor.
The only time they had a really good country in South Africa or in Africa was when Liberia was ran by American born and raised blacks because they actually had a government. But as soon as they got overthrown by the natives, Liberia turned into a country
Shit
full of
hole.
warlords where they literally eat people, like cannibalism and the whole 9 yards.
That
Prior
happened
to
to
that,
Egypt too.
it had been a vacation destination. Come
I
to
say the
beautiful
same
Liberia.
thing about Native Americans. Is like they were living in freaking teepees while Europe had like massive ass cities. So fuck them.
Well,
Yeah.
the problem
Well-
with the natives, since we're being slightly not,
Racist?
it's not racist because
Politically
it's true,
correct.
right? Like once a year, the Dakota get together and they start complaining about the Black Hills and Mount Rushmore,
Yeah, they
but
can go
they
fuck
don't
themselves.
acknowledge the fact that they exterminated the tribe that lived there like 50 years before they moved in. Like literally committed genocide on an entirely different native tribe. So it's like Crimea River.
Yeah.
It's like you're mad at us because we came in and took your shit, but you took your shit from another tribe who probably took their shit from another tribe back to whenever,
Well, the
It's
Zulu
not our fault
chief.
that we're way better at warfare than everyone else on the planet.
Yeah,
know
that's what it's really about, isn't it? You
Yeah.
lost, take your lumps, and you got a problem. Come at me, bro.
Yes, because your typical red-coated Irish or Englishman, you could drop 100 of them in any country and they would just take it over.
Well, the Zulu chief, I don't remember his name, after the Battle of Rorke's Drift,
Right?
yeah, went to the England and he saw the cities and he said, if I knew what we were up against, we would have never fought. Because he went
Yeah, but
into
think about the
London
Battle
and
of
he saw.
Rorke's Drift. How many thousands of Zulus against 126 Britons who
Yeah,
were mostly Irish?
whatever.
Yeah. Because if you were a poor Irishman, you joined the English army for 20 years. That's how you got out of Ireland.
Yeah. This is the saddest thing I have to look forward to today. Do you know why it is?
It's your last
American
one.
Indians were largely
Exactly.
Stone
It's
Age.
my last
That's
pepperoni
true.
stick. I'm still gonna eat it though.
Yeah, most tribes were largely Stone Age. The southwestern tribes were the most technological.
Mm-hmm.
They were the ones that had figured out how to grow cotton and weave cloth and stuff like that. But
Yeah, and that's what I say about it all. It's like if people are living in the Stone Age and you take them over, are you actually doing a bad thing by bringing them technology and shit? Sure, you bring some blankets with some smallpox, but
That's
you
actually
take
not
it
true.
with the bad.
they didn't know about that at the time. Disease theory had not been even a thing
Yeah,
at the time.
Well, they knew you could like put things around sick people, then use it to pass stuff around. But
Right. But they didn't
the
know why.
smallpox blanket thing is just totally made up.
yeah.
It's kind of like the three spirit person that they're talking about up in Canada all the time, and it was made up by some liberal white woman in New York like 5 years ago.
Yeah, like everything else
Well,
that comes out of their mouth.
It's not even like a
White.
real thing.
White.
Worst people on the planet are liberal white women. I'm telling you.
White.
Well, they are white.
White.
They're Europeans.
Indigenous to Europe.
Yeah, they are European, indigenous to Europe.
Yeah.
And every stupid thing that happens, they're behind.
Asia from Egypt, native to Europe.
Okay, well, I know what you're saying. I'm just not joining in on that.
Well, you know what they say. World War II was a war between a bunch of racists and what's it? An indigenous people's uprising. You know,
See,
because
you're throwing the whole conversation out of whack.
because you know what side was the indigenous people.
Stay on topic. Stay on topic.
Yeah, put your targeting computer away. Learn to have faith in the Force. That was back when Star Wars was relatively cool.
Mm-hmm. Now, I've said this before. I am absolutely against uplift. If you know what uplifting is,
I do.
I'm absolutely against uplifting. And I think anyone who tries it should be shot on sight. It should be national policy. Everyone should be deputized to hunt down and kill anyone attempting to uplift. And that's even if it's other groups of human.
Sounds like some 40K shit there.
Uplift never goes well. Never goes well.
Uplift.
I saw Planet of the Apes. I know Africa.
I think we opened the door that we shouldn't have opened around Justin. But I would call myself, and I know a lot of people hate me for it, but I would call myself a race realist. You know, there are differences. You can tell the differences. Like if you dig up a 10,000-year-old skeleton, you can tell. You know, it's ethnicity. So now I don't believe in treating anybody mean, unlike some people.
Don't be mean.
I'm not going to be mean to anybody. I think we're all image bearers of God in our spirit. But let's not joke around and act like, you know, your average 140 IQ Ashkenazi Jew from Germany is the same exact thing
That's bullshit.
as an 80 IQ guy from South Congo.
I know I'm never going to do math as good as an Asian. I accept this.
You could, though.
I could.
You could, but you won't because their culture
You don't have a tiger mom.
is so freaking like about it that you either become a master or you kill yourself or lock yourself in your bedroom and just refuse to leave.
Well, it's like back to Uncle A there. They say he hated the Slavs, right?
Yeah.
But the thing he said about the Slavs is it's not our responsibility to build them universities and teach them sciences. They have to want and do that for themselves. But I'm paraphrasing, but that's
But
basically
at the time, Russia was just as technological as he was.
wrong group of Slavs.
Which group of slobs are we talking about?
What's up, Dean?
The
Hey,
ones
thanks for
down
rescuing.
further.
The
Hey,
Poles?
Dean.
The
Like
Serbs?
Slovenia.
Oh, so you're talking about the
yeah.
Balkans.
Yeah.
Right.
You
Yeah,
know,
they're
the
still
other
very
Slavs.
much hillbillies. My
Yeah.
ex-brother-in-law is from Serbia,
You can't
and they're
force a
still very
people.
much hillbillies.
You can't force a people who don't want to be smarter to be smarter. You
Yeah,
can't
their
uplift,
average IQ is not super high.
but
Yeah,
if they
lead a horse.
they
You can lead
melted
a
their
horse to water, but you can't make it drink, and you can lead a horticulture, but you can't make her think.
if they moved their society, if they had the will to encourage it, they could change that, right? Over generations.
Maybe you need to get into a debate with D and ask him why Romania sucks.
Who? V?
D?
V? Oh, V says the gypsies. And I will use the racial slur when it comes to that.
Yeah, he does have a problem with those people.
I've heard enough of his stories about working at the hospital and them coming in and refusing to shower for surgery and shit like that.
Right.
Why wouldn't you want to be clean before they cut you open?
And Arch apparently has a hatred
'Cause,
for both Swedes and the Sami people. Like he used to be Arch Warhammer. He hates Swedes and the Sami.
Yeah, I don't know the Sami.
Because Sami are the people that herd reindeers all over the place. And they dress in really bright clothes and little white trolls. Yeah.
I have no idea why.
Apparently Norwegians despise them.
Yeah, probably because they're too close to the Swedes and they've had a lot of wars with the Swedes.
Well, yeah, Norway hates Sweden because of all the wars. Why they hate the Sami, I don't know.
Probably similar reasons.
Yeah. How do you catch? Okay, we've done the catch up. Dean Powell, hey, how you doing, bro? Hungar threw a thing in there. Dean Powell is our local neighborhood friendly Danish person.
Tell us why the Norwegians hate the Swedes.
Yeah, why do Norwegians hate Swedes? It's pretty easy, though, isn't it? It's like,
I mean, first off, we all have sibling rivalry. Second off, when we lost the war to the Swedes, I had to give up Norway. We negotiated. Hey, what about we give them independence instead? And England said yes. Then of course, then Britain waived the rules and just took home. And Norway and Sweden decide to invade Norway. So that's why you have that weird period in the Victoria era where there is yellow all over at the top of Scandinavia instead of just that one side.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you this, man. You did it wrong. You're supposed to just say IKEA.
But what about IKEA?
That's why you hate Sweden.
The Norwegians hate the Swedes because of IKEA.
Now Norwegians, when they went a Viking, it said they were out for grape and loot, right? I think they were mostly out for graping.
Well, I mean, when you talk about
the pillaging as much as the grapes.
When you talk about Viking, which is a verb, no one was worse for it than the Danes.
Yeah, fuck the Danes.
The Danes were the absolute. They were the ones that were going to land on the beach and burn your village to the ground. It's going to be the Danes.
I mean, the issue is we knew both warfare, statecraft, and merchantry.
Oh, yeah. I heard how great their merchants were. The merchants would go to a village and trade, and then the merchants would go out into the ocean and meet the raiders to tell the raiders all the fortifications at the village.
On a side note,
would raid the village and get all the stuff that the merchants had sold the English back, and they would just be like, "All right, cool."
On a side note, Shadow, do you have any pink foam?
A little. Why?
Do you have a piece that's a little bit bigger than the base of your mixer?
Maybe.
Could you put it underneath your mixer?
Maybe.
Thank you.
Well, that's why they had the Danelaw and the Danegeld and all that stuff. The Danish
and the
were
Danishes,
freaking British or
which I could go
brutal,
for right
man.
now. I could really go for a Danish right now.
Like,
Insert name wants to know when you incorporated big titty anime girls, bro.
because I don't have the picture of the one that my homeboy Holy Diver had. So I had the 3D print build, and she's nowhere near done being painted. Like her flesh, that's just the very base coat.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's much paler in the picture, but you know how you start with like the tan and you slowly dry brush it up.
Yeah.
My mom wants me to send that to her for her birthday.
We told you to send it to her for her birthday.
I told her, you know, what do you think? And she said she wanted it because my mom makes costumes for the dolls she owns. And she was saying she would go out and get a nice pattern and make like a kimono for her with the bow and everything on the back. And I was like, well, I guess that's cool, you know.
Our mom has those weird realistic dolls, and I hate
Oh, God, I hate them.
Don't say it, Justin. Don't say it, Justin. Don't say it.
Are they one bad night from being animating and killing people, or how bad are they?
Yeah.
They look real. And like everywhere you go, they're watching you.
Can I say it, Shadow?
No.
Dude.
And there's like, she's got like a whole shelf of them.
I'm just
It's
saying
just
it would be
weird
a pricey. It would be a pricey birthday gift, but it would be funny as fuck. Especially if we went down there with a camera and watched her open it.
Speaking of, guys, I haven't put the side doors on yet because I haven't decided whether I'm going to put the 60 gunners in.
Did you do
leave it as a straight up transport?
I say put the 60 gunners in.
But there you go. That's a Rubicon 156 scale Huey 1H or 1D or 1. You can make like a billion kits out of this thing.
How did you go about gluing the glass in?
Very carefully with super glue.
Okay.
And I still effed it up, but I don't care because
yeah, you got to use white glue so it doesn't
that's
fall
what
down.
everyone says. Or you can go to Hobby Lobby and buy special glue specifically for clear glass.
Yeah, and that's just white glue in a marked up container.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a lot of hobby supplies are just marked up.
But anyway, I like it. I'm going to put like the smiley pointed tiger teeth on the front. And, put the U.S. star on. Might pick which regiment it's from, like 25th Infantry, and put a 25th Infantry tag on it. I mean, if I wanted to get
leave the
crazy,
doors
I
open.
could do it up like an Anzac helicopter and put a kangaroo on the side.
You got to leave the doors open, dude.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, that way you get some use out of it. You know, if you ever decide to do a recon game or something like that.
Also,
I'm going to get some use out of it.
Also, I have an idea for one of those. Get like a what you call like a figurine of Arnold, where like he is hanging in one hand and like a gun in the other, and then put him down at the on the bottom of the chopper, like holding on to the railing.
The
Get to
60
the chopper.
gunners are literally sitting with their hand. The 60 gunners are sitting with their hands, their feet hanging out of the helicopter. Just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can set it up to be a gunship with like chain guns, missile pods. I mean, all the stuff. But I'm making it. This is a transport helicopter. So, you know, it's cool. It's cutting into my, you know, getting these Russian ships built. And it's also cutting into finally getting my Draugr army painted. But they're coming along really good. I got all the metal on them, so all I really have to do is their hair, the leather wraps, and some of them are wearing furs.
Furs.
Yeah, but none
Furs
of
are
that
always-
is hard. And I'll just block paint them and then give them a wash, and they'll be
Call it a
done.
night.
And they're led by this big bastard right here. He's some kind of Draugr priest.
Ooh.
So maybe he summoned them or something. I don't know.
Those
Let
STLs.
me maximize
Yeah,
that
these are
screen, bro.
STLs. I think they were actually free.
Nice.
There he is.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, he's some kind of spell casting. I would say a priest because it's Norse. And I don't think the Vikings had wizards, but I know that they had shamans and priests.
Yeah, they had
That's,
shamans.
James, that's complicated if they had wizard or not. It depends which tradition and if they were a man about it.
Ah. Well, you would
Because
know.
there were some
You're more
China
Norse
magic
than
that
I
was
am.
only meant for women or men who weren't really men. And ironically enough, Odin had one of those magics.
So they them were mages.
They them.
Yeah, I
They
don't know about what Hungar said, but thanks for the info, Dean.
They
To me,
get
though,
kicked
he
out
looks
and they're
like-
non-binaries.
I mean, he's got his staff. He's got like a
He's gonna
skull
get
on it.
kicked.
He looks like some kind of undead shaman. I'm probably going to give him blonde hair. Because these guys are undead Norsemen. So, beyond a shadow of a doubt,
And if you give them orange hair, people might think they're Muslim undead.
Some of them will probably be redheads. But I have been painting some of their clothes red, but not the leather parts. I mean, I do have zombies in my homebrew game, but I also have Draugr. And Draugr are like super zombies. Because even though they're undead and all that shit, they still remember like their skills.
Aren't those kind of like ghouls?
Well, because ghouls, all they do is hang out in graveyards eating corpses, right?
Carrying
Draugrs come across the frozen northern sea and raid villages to carry off living people back to the north. Where
Probably
they're
for food.
either slaves or fed to the more powerful undead.
I
But
think
a
James is
Draugr will
revealing some of his
absolutely hate-
ancestral memories here.
Well, a Draugr will absolutely hate every living thing. But a powerful warrior that become a Draugr is still a powerful warrior. He remembers how to fight. So that's kind of how I do my Draugrs. They're the Vikings in my campaign setting. They're the ones that raid the coastal villages. And they even, I haven't printed one out yet, but the Draugr even travel about in Drakars. If I probably said that wrong, but you know what? The big dragon ships.
Jakar.
Yeah, that's what they travel about in. And they land.
The cologne that comes in the black bottle.
And I do have that. That is my favorite cologne.
And Raven McCreen have fill us in which magic I was talking about.
Freya taught Odin the magic, and he was the only man to know the secrets of the magic called cedar. Cedar magic was done by the women, the Volva. Okay. All right. Look at me learning stuff. Well, far to the north is a completely, mostly frozen kingdom, but with some taiga and, frozen arboreal forest. And in that very inhospitable place, there is an kingdom/empire ruled over by the undead. And the Draugr are the raiders. But it's not always just Draugr. Sometimes a Draugr ship could have a vampire or a wraith or, some other kind of undead with them. So, yeah. That's just the mythos of my homebrew game, though. And they will murder anyone that gets in their way, and they will capture alive anyone they can. And they will load them back up on their ships and then oars away back to the north. And no one who has ever went north has ever came back, at least not alive.
I show
they
you.
come back.
They might come back as Draugr.
They always come back. Ching. Oh.
Pet Cemetery.
Yep.
I don't want to be buried in a pet cemetery.
You know, the publishers, when he wrote that book, almost didn't release it.
I mean, isn't that every publisher?
Well, they said that was too scary.
Again?
Too scary. They said that Pet Cemetery was too scary.
Oh.
And they were afraid to release it. Because up until then, he'd done like, I don't know, Christine and The Shining and
Salem's Lot.
Yeah, and then he does Pet Cemetery, and they're all like, "Whoa, hold on here a minute, buddy."
I really like The Longest Walk. The Longest Walk was a good
That
story.
was his only good story.
What?
The
And in
longest
the
walk.
end, the one who lived just kept walking.
Yep.
I mean,
His,
most
his
Stephen
best
King's,
his best story was Shawshank Redemption. Come on, guys.
Nah.
I mean, most Stephen King stories can be boiled down to X but scary,
Yeah,
especially if it involved himself or alcohol.
his Stephen King's best story. Man, I'd have to think about that.
He's only I can't stand the man, but I'll give it up for Shawshank.
Green Mile was
Shawshank
good.
Redemption was good, but I
Yeah.
think Stephen King's best story is Children of the Corn.
Children of the Corn is pretty good.
Yeah,
I
it
will
was,
admit,
it was
the only
interesting,
reason
you
I
know?
I mostly know Stephen King stories because of the miniseries. I only like those for the wrong reasons. Not
The
because
problem
they're
with Stephen
high
King
hours.
is he's very
a raging liberal.
predictable.
Yeah.
It's like in every Stephen King story, it's mostly going to be set in Maine.
Yeah.
There will be anti-Christian messaging throughout,
And
and
you
there
could
will
probably
be an
solve
alcoholic
the,
father.
and
you
there
could probably
may or may
solve it
not
with
be
a
some
45 caliber
pedophilia.
bullet.
The bad guy will always be white. There'll always be a magic black woman.
Yeah, well, I don't know if
You're just
that's
gonna break out the
book
Stephen
or-
King bingo card.
yeah. No.
Yeah.
There's always a magic black woman.
Mind you, we are
somewhere.
doing the regular bingo card. If we are drinking to it, we are not going to survive.
You know, I think you're right because in the movie The Stand,
Yeah.
God
That's the
was
most
supposed to be
prominent
like
count.
Satan, and the little old lady was supposed to be like Jesus.
Yeah, and there's always a version of that character in just about every story, even if she's like brought in for a scene and then leaves, and it has nothing to do with the story whatsoever.
Yeah, he is not a very creative writer.
Well,
Plus-
you know,
Plus, all of the best things he ever wrote, he stole the concept from H.P. Lovecraft. I mean, it's like
or Dean Koontz.
or Dean Koontz or
But
Darwin.
he
know,
and
the
Dean
old
Koontz
school guys.
had a thing back in the 70s and 80s
Oh,
where they
you were
would go
doing
back and forth.
this.
No, like they would.
You know what this means?
This is stalking.
No, this is more.
More.
Yep.
No. I was just like.
Baby sign language. If you want to teach a baby like to ask for more of something, and my little granddaughter, she'll do that. Like if she wants water or juice, she'll bring the cup and hand it to you, and then go. And then you're like, oh, okay, cool.
And Mage's Musings, the reason why Dr. Sleep is so bad is it basically exists because he didn't like the movie of The Shining.
Dr. Sleep, was
So
that the
he,
one with the
made a sequel
vampires
to
hunting
Mage's-
down psychic children and draining them to stay young?
They were psychic vampires, not actual vampires, but
Yeah, but you get my
Yeah.
thing. They were
They
feeding
ate
off of
loosh
the life
specifically
energy
from
of other
children, yeah.
yeah.
specifically children.
I wish they had been the other version of those, like, 'cause
And the lady who played the leader of them was the same lady that played Jessica in the new.
But yeah, basically, Dr. Steve exists because he didn't like the movie of The Shining, and he was tired of people saying what it was about when he was the author. God damn it!
Yeah, that was just an interpretation. The other one, it was a good interpretation with Jack.
Well, you have the
as a
writer,
standalone
and then
thing.
you have Stanley Kubrick.
Yeah. Well, Stanley Kubrick wasn't trying to tie it into the rest of his universe. So you could read other implications than the father's character also having the psychic gift.
Yeah.
And having to
Stanley
deal with
Kubrick's maniac.
Yes, he is. That's besides the point, though. I wish that Doctor Sleep had more of the Men in Yellow implications with the bad guys, because that's like they're supposed to be the Men in Yellow.
I wish
But
everyone that
through their
heard my voice would go and immediately binge watch season 1 of True Detective
Yeah.
and not talk to me until they had finished.
I don't need to do that. There's only one really good scene, and
In what? True Detective?
yeah,
I've seen that scene.
That whole fucking series was great. That might be the best series made in the last 25 years.
I
True
wouldn't go that
Detective
far.
about? Is that like a crime, a
Time is
true
a
crime
flat
show,
circle.
or a supernatural crime show, or
It's a supernatural.
You,
It's a crime show, but there are supernatural implications.
is there though?
okay, so it is fiction.
It's left up to it's left up to interpretation.
Yeah, I think there is. I agree with you.
Yeah.
I think there are supernatural implications, but I just wanted to throw out the. But is there?
Yeah. Well,
And of course,
that's
it's
the
got
question they ask
Matthew
in the show.
McConaughey and Woody Harrelson.
It's got Alexandria Daddario. That's all you need to know about that show.
And
Yes.
they're frenemies. It's like they have to work together, but they hate each other.
Yeah.
And I know what that's like. So, but yeah, the King in Yellow, Carcosa, the degenerate inbred family, like it's so Lovecraftian that you would think HP wrote the frickin' series.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's so Lovecraftian.
Maybe he didn't die. Maybe he's actually an immortal and still writing.
Man, that would be something.
Well, that's kind of what like Stephen King was borrowing off of with the Men in Yellow. The Men in Yellow are sometimes called the Low Men. Were vampires that hunted the psychic children, and they always wore like yellow trench coats. If you ever seen,
is that a reference to Hastur, the King in Yellow?
Yeah, I think they were
You
like.
see the yellow sign?
Yeah, the King in Yellow was one of the faces, like, because he tied his stuff into that crap, right? Because Stephen King's lazy that way.
He's the one also involved in the play called The King in Yellow, and if you ever watched the entire play, it would drive you mad.
Yeah, good poem. It's a good poem.
I think my favorite shower thought about what do you call it, H.P. Lovecraft is what happened is that he saw an fallen angel and an angel fighting, and well, he couldn't fill in the blanks properly.
Well, when he was a young kid, he pretended to be a Greek pagan. He even had an altar set up where he would burn incense and make sacrifice, not animals, but, fruits and whatnot to Aphrodite and Athena and all that. But then at some point,
get laid.
No, he was like
not back then, man.
I'm talking like 9. But then at some point, he became a nihilistic atheist. But if you read some of his writing, he absolutely hates atheists. So it's kind of hard to pin him down. It's like, you know what I mean? It's hard to pin him down. Like, what did he believe? Now, could Cthulhu be a demon? Like that actually exists under the ocean? Yeah. And Hastur could be a demon. Like all of his mythos creatures could, in actuality, be demons. We know Dagon, which is in Cthulhu's shit, is a demon.
Yeah, I just watched that movie a while ago. That movie is rough.
Well, they didn't have the budget. and they keep turning what's his name down every time he tries to do a H.P. Lovecraft movie.
No, I didn't mean like that. I mean just it's pretty brutal in the end.
The Mexican guy.
Uh,
He's done so many great movies.
The guy who did Pan's Labyrinth.
oh, okay. Pan's
Yeah,
Labyrinth.
what
good
is
film.
his name?
Uh,
He is
Del
like,
Toro?
yeah,
yeah, Del
Del
Toro.
Toro. He has knocked it out of the park every movie he's directed or written.
Yeah.
It's been amazing. And he keeps going to the studio and being like, give me the budget to do At the Mountains of Madness. And they keep being
Yeah,
like,
the Mountains of Madness is going to be
no.
that.
And he wanted to make it like a two-parter.
Yeah, you know what? That's like I wouldn't recommend that one. I would go with the.
Yep, Guillermo del Toro. That guy's amazing. He loves Lovecraft. Like even in his little the cabinet of secrets or whatever, he managed to work a couple of Lovecraftian things in there.
Pan's Labyrinth. Great film.
Pan's Labyrinth, I love the movie, but the problem is it's told from the point of view of the bad guys. Not the little girls, but her mom and all of her mom's friends are communists.
Yeah.
So
In order to get
the Republican or the Carlist or whatever that man was, they kill him. But they were the bad guys, actually.
in order to get the Mountains of Madness, you've got to read a lot of Edgar Allan Poe because the last paragraph, if you haven't, makes no sense.
Well, the last paragraph of At the Mountains of Madness is when he's trying to talk the university of sending another team up there because the professor's insane. And the young guy that was with him that actually looked over the mountain and saw that what was on the other side, they had to lock his ass up because he never came down from whatever he saw.
So speaking of movies based on other properties, I have a question for y'all. Which, if you were to pick a D&D adventure, like one of the old models or something like that, that you would turn into the basis of a script for a movie, which one would you pick? You cannot
White
pick
Plume.
anything but with Drizzard.
White Plume Mountain.
That is so easy that it makes me feel bad.
Well, go ahead.
It would have to be the Strahd one. L1 or I1.
Maybe
I forget
that's
if
a good
it's
choice.
L1 or I1,
Yeah.
Curse of Strahd. That would be like the most awesome Hammer horror ever.
Yeah.
If you went all in on it, and it probably wouldn't require that much of a budget.
Yeah, the Strahd would be good.
But you'd have to have a cast of characters that was, pretty epic in buying into them.
I would also say maybe a short story, not a short story. Maybe at least like a stealth prequel where like you follow some other adventure stories so you get to know the characters and then they get swept away by the fog.
Unfortunately, Christopher Lee has passed on to a better place, I hope. So we can't get Christopher Lee to be the vampire.
That's unfortunate, yeah. And
Unless we
unfortunately, I
clone
don't
him.
think Keanu Reeves want to be in another vampire property.
Oh, shit. Keanu Reeves would make a great Strahd.
How?
Who?
Keanu
Strahd.
Reeves as Strahd.
I liked Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas
vampire.
Cage was over the top as Dracula. That
I
guy
mean,
was
Nicolas
crazy.
Cage, we can get
I was
back,
thinking about
but
him
he
too,
should
but
be a
yeah,
headless
he's a
horseman
goofball.
again.
It would be hard to do.
Oh, it was fucking hilarious, man.
You'd want a mini-series.
You okay there, Bear?
I agree with that, Mages, because
How you guys doing?
you would have to cut a lot
Bear.
of stuff. But yeah, if you're going to do a movie based on an old AD&D module, it's got to be Curse of Strahd. In my opinion.
You know what I would do if I won the lottery?
What's that?
I'd buy all the tickets to a Taylor Swift concert and just show up by myself holding up a sign that says you suck.
No.
I don't know. She charges like $1,000 for a ticket.
That's why I'd have to win the Powerball.
You
Yeah,
gotta
I
give me
mean,
a
that's
ticket
a
so I
lot
can
of
stand
money,
next to you with a sign says, and I'd like you to do it for me.
So, even though I know I can't stand pimping, I gotta say, since Shadow's here, Hungar's here, and more importantly James is here, and you guys are really into minis, we are
What the fuck am I?
$485 away from unlocking the minis on the backer kit now.
Nice.
I'm
You'll get
talking
there.
to talking to two different mini modulars this morning to see if they're interested in the project, and I'm pretty excited about this.
If
Even though I
anybody
sound like
wants
I'm
the
dying.
Hungar mini, they know where they can get it.
Well,
from
Nerds
Nightly
Nerd can
DC.
do STLs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she
but Nurse Nerd can't do
professionals.
modeling. That's the problem. She only does chimeras. So she basically is able to cut stuff together, but she doesn't do original modeling from the ground up.
I'm sure you can find people though who can.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
just
they're called
talking to people.
sculptors. They exist and they charge money.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm doing. I'm talking to people like that now to find one that A is good enough and B is in the price range.
There's a whole.
You might want to talk to Elfbait. He's got a lot of connections in that.
I was put on the track of two really good guys by Tom Mason. I don't know if you guys know who Tom Mason is, but he's a pretty big deal sculptor. And he wasn't available, but he gave us two people to talk to, and we're talking to them
I know
right now,
Tom
and they're
Mason.
damn good.
And
So we're
that's
just waiting to see what we're going to get.
I
for
don't know
prices.
about Tom Mason. I know a Mason though because he does a lot of Bautech figures.
Yeah, that's the guy. Is it Tom Mason? Maybe I don't know. I swear a friend I met. It could be Jim Mason, something.
It
Mason.
might be Mark Mason. Whatever, he does Bautech figures.
Hang on, I'll tell you right now.
Have you looked
Tom
at,
Mason, and he's a BattleTech guy.
What's his name? Stoja something. He's got a Russian name,
Don't know.
but he does pretty good figures. And they're made for gaming. So
Yeah.
So
the two
they're
guys I'm
not
talking to are game miniatures. They both done
brittle.
dark
Let
miniatures
me
and
look
stuff
real
like that.
quick.
Tom Mason.
I think the Tom Mason guy's done a lot of Reaper stuff. So the two guys he's put me on to are really, really good. Like really good.
Well, are you trying to actually do physical miniatures or STL?
No, we're doing 3D model STLs for everybody to download and 3D print themselves. Guys, I appreciate all the advice. I got this covered. It's okay.
Oh, I believe you. I'm just I was just asking.
Yeah, no. We're
Also,
doing STLs.
which AD&D module would you choose to make a movie out of?
Definitely not Curse of Strahd. Too much backstory you'd have to explain to the audience.
Okay.
Man, there's not really a lot of them that would make a good movie without heavy editing.
You want one of the ones that
Beyond the Crystal Cave.
Yeah.
Beyond the Crystal Caves, because it has a love story at the heart of it, so you could really milk that into the audience.
That's fair.
Yeah.
You know what I just thought too? Isle of Dread.
I never played the Isle of Dread. I don't know what it's like.
It's
Isle of Dread's a
basically
good one.
you crash on an island and fight dinosaurs.
Yeah, see,
Yeah,
that's why I'm
but
not
you-
into Isle of Dread, because it's got dinosaurs, right?
Right.
Yeah, well, you know what? It would also be compared to what was it, Mysterious Island, or whatever the sequel to 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea was. It's got that vibe, so you'd have to really lean away from that.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But it was still a great movie.
I mean, Isle of Dread, Mage's Mission literally has King Kong somewhere on the island. He just not called that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
I get so many free STLs on my mini factory. Like every time I open it up, there's something there I didn't know I had. But the guy I'm talking about is named Stanislav Kuzetsov. And he makes really good figures. But, I mean, whether you can get in touch with him or whatever you do, that's on you.
I mean, keeping the Borderland Mage's Mission, you could in theory change. I know that means changing, not like using as a base for a script, but changing it into like a mixture of like a sword and sorcery adventure in the case of Chaos, and then like political stuff in a berry going on at home at the keep.
Yeah, but that'd make a
I
better
don't think
series than it would a
make
movie.
a good,
Well, he also said a miniseries.
Well, even like a Netflix series, which would be 10 episodes. With
yeah,
a
even
potential
as I
continuing.
think the keep is the wrong choice because it's too sandboxy.
Yeah.
It's
and
an environment.
90% of the movie is going to be people creeping down a dungeon hall, trying not
Yeah,
to get
and what's the big boss monster at the end? What, a minotaur?
of the priest. Remember when you go into the chaos dungeon, there's that relatively high level priest, I think 5 or 6, and he's got like a horde of zombies with him. And plus, there's the one room that if you take any of the objects off the altar, it immediately turns you evil. So that was, yeah, that's a rough module. I've ran it probably 100 times. Hungar has played it probably 100 times.
And I still love it.
And he still takes something off the altar every time.
Because you can, I mean, the great thing about the keep is you can mix up a couple of little things and then people won't even know you're playing the keep. Yeah, an army is
that's
skilled,
a
zombies
good,
with great weapons, some lower level priests, a higher level priest, and if you, spoilers, but it's been since 1979, if you recruited the priest from the keep, it turns out he's actually a member of the cult. So when you get in a really bad battle and things are going really bad, he's going to turn on you. And
Here's something I want to say.
Cause wounds or some shit like that. So
this has nothing to do with the conversation, but I want to say it anyway. This woman, this person, ordered 3 gay books from Target, and they sent her a Bible.
What?
Oh yeah, I remember that news story.
Yeah, this person ordered 3 queer books from Target website online and got sent a Bible.
What's a queer book?
A book about homosexuality.
It's a book that likes other books that are the same.
Yeah, just like books that are into the same genre they're into. Like, what is that?
Like
I just find
they're
that
into other books that are like them.
It's Shadow's writing career.
Shadow's journals.
But basically, he's talking about a book that specializes on LGBT things.
So
Yeah.
is
You know
this
what? I ain't
provable,
got a
or is
reason,
she
so
making
I don't
shit
give a
up?
shit.
Probably making shit up.
Like, is this a
I give a
provable
shit.
thing?
I wish that people knew better, but
No, Bear.
it's not my business.
Yeah, because this
If I
starting to sound
remember
like
correctly, the
a
news story.
Juicy Smollett situation, you know?
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, the news story is basically they're investigating the situation. There is no like, oh, we can actually hit them with a crime or some kind.
Probably not, because you know how many people handle everything being shipped out of a place like that? You're
At
like,
least
good
one.
luck. It could be one of 100 employees. Good luck with that.
And that's not even if it's true and it's not like, oh, you got the wrong package.
Right.
Yeah.
That was supposed to go to your neighbor.
That would be
who's probably,
hilarious. If there's like
having
there's like
real
a
hard
kid out
time
there
with
who's studying
the books
comparative
he did
religion,
get.
and they get a package with 3 gay books in it instead of a Bible.
I mean,
Yeah,
that
he
is a
ordered a
religion.
Bible and he gets a book called My Two Dads. Shit like that. He's just all like, what's going on here? Next thing you know, he's coming out at Christmas dinner. I don't think it works that way, but you know, it sounds.
It's amazing I can only find this article from like weird named websites and like not a single real news site.
Yeah.
There are no news sites in North America.
Okay, thank you.
Maybe Razor Fist.
Yeah.
Maybe Sticks, Hex, and Hammer.
Salty
Well,
Cracker.
he's not in America anymore. He's like in Holland or something.
Oh, I heard he's coming back to the U.S. because Razor
With
Fist
his smoke-
said he was invited onto a show.
Yeah. With his smoking hot wife.
Does he got a smoking hot wife?
Yeah.
Somebody keeps posting pictures of Moscow. It's like Moscow right now. And like it's a live feed. And every one of the women walking down the sidewalk are beautiful.
Yeah.
Like absolutely beautiful.
A Moscow 5, a Russian 5 is an American 10.
Yeah, there's like
Yes, but
there's not
the
a
transverse
single-
exists too.
What?
He said Russian 5 is an American 10, but the transverse exists too. When Russian chicks go bad, they're not good.
They're worse
Oh.
than what? British women?
Well, I mean, don't marry one. I know 2 people that's married.
Not
Slavs,
personality wise,
and
physically.
3 years later, they're getting a divorce. The Slavic lady's upgrading to a dude that makes a lot more money. Taking the
Nice.
one kid she had with you so she can get her child support.
Guys, I'm going to end the show because I'm hungry.
Yeah.
No,
You're always
Hungar.
hungry.
I haven't eaten anything today.
Hungar's like on that note. But I literally know people who have been down that road.
I had peanut butter and pepperoni sticks.
Peanut butter and pepperoni.
You should have used the pepperoni sticks to dip into the peanut butter.
I was just thinking that.
My wife.
Yeah, you guys have a good one then.
All right, guys, thanks for
Happy
coming
trails,
on.
everybody.
Card friendly wrap.
All right. You guys be good, and I will catch you on the flip side.
Taco
Yeah.
Bell.
Bye, Hungar.